This is a plea to Scott Morrison, Prime Minister of Australia, to please help save my mother's life, Marie Dupois. As you are aware, I have contacted your office on numerous occasions, and in response from your office, you have recommended certain avenues which have been pursued, and those avenues haven't had the capacity or ability to act immediately to save my mother's life. My mother is an Australian citizen who is being held hostage at the Goldcoast University Public Hospital against her wishes and that of her families. They will not release my mother from this prison environment, as they have no doubt something to hide. We are supposed to be living in a civilised country. I am horrified that this is happening in Australia, where as Australians we are deprived of our liberty and the right to be relocated to a hospital of our choice. When I was permitted to see my mother, I was surrounded and stalked by 4 to 6 security guards, and I'm only a medium-sized woman. I'm no threat to anyone. If anything, when I was permitted to visit, I was sick in the stomach with fear, as I felt totally intimidated by security and by the staff of the hospital. Even when I simply went to get some water, I was followed by 2 security guards. My mother is being punished and deprived. Having her family supporting her, she is an elderly woman left there on her own to rot, as this hospital is far worse than a maximum security prison. I have been blackmailed orally and in writing to remove my plea for help on social media, or else they will never allow me to see my mother again. Mr. Morrison, please, this is a matter of life and death, and you know time is of the essence. I'm banned from calling to ask about my mother. I'm banned from going into the hospital. Security are not there for the protection of my mother. Her life is in danger while she is staying at that hospital. I have attempted to have her relocated on 4 separate occasions, but they refuse to let her go, as their motives is clearly to make sure she dies in this hospital and make it look like she died from natural causes to cover up their negligence. I would not embarrass myself today speaking to you publicly unless my story is completely true. I am traumatized. I can't sleep or function. I don't want my mother to die. She's not suffering from a terminal illness or is on life support. So I ask you, why won't they let her leave that hospital? Please, Mr. Morrison, you must intervene. Now I'm desperate and afraid for my mother's safety and life. I'm begging you for your immediate intervention to help save my mother's life before it's too late. How can I protect her if I can't even go see her? You are the only one that can intervene and make this happen. Please, Prime Minister Morrison, intervene immediately. You save so many Australians held hostage in other countries and bring them home. And now in our own backyard, this disgraceful, unforgivable conduct is happening here in Australia. Once you understand the whole story, Mr. Morrison, and how calculated this and those involved which I can irrefusably prove to you, you'll be disgusted as to what's happening here in our so-called civilized country. This is so surreal. I don't know what else to say to you. Please, Mr. Morrison, I beg you for the last time, help my mother who is suffering in this hospital. Please, Mr. Morrison. Thank you. On Therese Zornetti, her daughter.